Your time machine malfunctions and you're sent to an unknown year. When you tell a bystander that you're from the year 2024, their face grows pale and their eyes grow wide. "It was you," she cried out, her face contorting with rage. She touched the side of her head and what I had assumed was a cochlear implant extended an antenna. Within seconds dozens of quadcopter drones were flying over the buildings around me, swarming down towards me. I felt a sharp sting in my neck and had just enough time to think about just how cliché knockout darts were in movies before everything went fuzzy. I woke up in an interrogation room. They looked the same as they had in 2024. One long mirror, one camera in the corner, one door in and out, one table and a couple chairs, and nothing else. Differences started standing out more and more, however. The camera usually doesn't have an underslung airgun with a needle pointed towards me. The table didn't used to have touch interface. And the mirror didn't used to be able to selectively reflect only me. 3 men walked in, one in a red uniform whose coat flowed like a robe, one in a crisp military uniform with a flag I didn't recognize and an eye patch with what looked like red LED lights on it, and one in a trench coat that could have walked straight out of the Cold War. "I am sorry for Z harsh treatment," eye patch said. "I am sorry, this will be cleared up in no time. And you can file Z harassment and assault charges before you leave." Red Robe stood in the corner behind me like a poster, but he was in full view of the camera, so I expected he wouldn't get up to anything particularly terrifying. With eye patch being so nice, I turned to Trenchcoat and got ready for bad cop. He moved the chair and sat down. "Look, I got a lot of paperwork to get back to. So tell us the whole story and we can let you get along home." I was surprised. Maybe here in the future the justice system had really been fixed. 2 reasonable cops and one who hasn't said a word. The uniforms confused me, but I would have time to learn about that. I told my story, from what I had for breakfast back in 2024 to activating my time machine, to finding myself lost in the city, to getting shot by drones. All 3 nodded along almost like they were expecting me to say this. "Sounds like to me just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time." Trenchcoat answered. "There's been a lot of time travails of late. You deserve an explanation." Eye patch put a black disc on the table and a hologram of the world appeared in front of me. At first I noticed the huge part of East Asia completely missing from the map. "You see, back in 2024, Trenchcoat continued for his partner, there was a massive explosion in Tokyo. The entire region just gone in an instant, and then, bam, causality stopped working. Space-time continuum got all out." What was the phrase they used? Yes, call it wibbly wobbly timey wimey. Yeah, that. So there's people from all over just having to deal with being in the Middle Ages for breakfast and beyond the singularity for supper. Makes it real hard for a guy to get a good smoke. "I will get you Z pamphlet," Eye patch said and walked out the door. "And I better get you a new watch. The one you're wearing won't work around here." He started to walk out, then stopped with one foot out the door. "Just one more thing. Be careful out there. There's some people who think that killing the bastard who did this to us will fix the timeline. Something about paradoxes. It all goes above my head, best not to worry about it." And then he walked out. I sighed and slumped into my chair, glad to be alone so I could organize my thoughts. But then I remembered I wasn't alone. I turned to the corner, but the red-robed individual was gone. Then I felt the barrel of a gun pressed against the back of my head. Of all the risks I had planned for with time travel, I hadn't expected the Spanish Inquisition.